Kungen. Oh, and Kungen already with the glasses. He was watching the last series, so he's trying to pull some Gara
All
mojo.
right. Jan, man, it needs to be another accessory. Sunglasses are starting to get a little overkilled here. But you know what? I like the fact that Kungen's coming in here with a deal with the attitude. You know, he's just saying, guys, I'm here. I'm playing Deck War Season 2, whether you like it or not, and I'm challenging one of the top 3 ranked players in the world. So I like that he's confident, but man, people need to start wearing something else.
I agree, man. We need a fedora or something like that. Somebody break out.
Don't worry, we have
one.
30,000 people with fedoras right now.
Oh man. Okay, you know one thing we haven't seen all day is we haven't seen the Leroy combo from Handlock yet. Surprisingly.
Yeah, you know, some people are even cutting Leroy. Like in the Asia server, I watched OGN today, and there was a player, I forgot his name. I want to say it was like Magic Wind or something like Tiddler Celestial. It was like one of those weird IDs, and they like decide not to run Leroy in their Handlock deck, but yet in the late stage of the game, they have to always play with Leroy in mind. And then, like, because you do, you're able to get away with a little bit more on the board. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even just not running Leroy, right? You can add just another solid big minion at the end, like Karen or something like that. Yeah, I could see that just being a total mind game and taking advantage of that. It's really cool. But getting back to the game, looking at Kungen, turn 3 here. Did he have the coin here? Let me see. No,
no, his opponent has.
He didn't have the coin. Yeah, so. Unable to play anything here, but that's, I don't know, that's not good for him actually. If RDU was able to get off to a quick start here, and it looks like he is carrying a Drake and a Mountain Giant, so.
Yeah, these were big pickups, and RDU even aggressively tapped so he can get 1 card deeper, potentially getting a 4 drop. He realizes how important it is to really present a problem on turn 4, so that way Miracle Rogue has to spend so many resources. Now, on the flip side, Kungen actually has a really important opportunity to drop Thalnos and not have to expend mana before his opponent can play a threat. And I think it's really important to establish this Thalnos, so that way you get the spell power and not have to waste mana doing something else.
Yeah, and you know, the question is, I mean, I think the Thalnos play and then just shivving the face here, maybe to draw something. He needs I feel like you need to try to get Sap in your hand as soon as possible, so you can have some flexibility with it. And he's got the Gadgetzan potential turn next with the prep, and you know, at least draw 2 cards. Not ideal sometimes, but maybe if you get a conceal too, right? Then you can start the crazy engine.
Well, he's going to keep Thalnos in his hand, and now he has to deal with this Drake. And just like you said, he's going to be dependent on Sap, but he does have the Gadgetzan Auctioneer. How does he choose to go about this?
Would have liked to have seen him draw last turn. So he's collecting all these cards. He's almost being like really trying for the crazy draw. You know what I mean? Like that the crazy draw turn. But he's gonna get Lotheb down. That's gonna be a good play here, I think. You gotta get something on the board here to contest that Twilight Drake. Because whatever you get rid of with your minions and even your, I mean, just whatever damage you do with minions is actually really bonus against a lot of these big handlock minions here. Because the last thing you want to do is burn all your spells into the big minions. All right, so here comes the Melon Giant.
You can't Mortal Coil, unfortunately, but, I mean, now you're just presenting bigger problems to your opponent. How do you deal with this giant board where if you play Gadgetzan and Conceal, he's just going to Shadow Flame.
Shadow Flame you, yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna Flame Strike on 6 mana. And a Warlock. He's gonna Shadow Flame, and then you lose your Gadgetzan Auctioneer anyways.
It's true. He's got 2 now, so he can be a little bit, more loose with the first one. Maybe just draw 2 cards with it. 3 cards really with Shiv. Now he's gonna go with the Thalamus. Wow. Okay, so he's going with the poison, I see, yeah. You can get 4 damage across the board. You can do 3 to one of these minions, and then...
Oh, he's trying to match a huge...
Oh, he's trying to get the... Yeah, Van Cleef.
Is he gonna kill off this Drake here or the Giant?
I think you kill off the Giant.
Well, either way, there's gonna be heads rolling. So you just pick a minion to kill.
Oh, he's gonna shiv this? No, right? Okay.
No way. You
No,
can't
no.
shiv after
Oh, not
prepping.
shiv. What am I talking about? It's got 4 damage on it.
Yep.
Okay, 10-10. There we go.
So
And he's at the 6. This is scary. This is like Siphon Soul range, but thankfully for him, he doesn't have it.
this is kind of a weird game all of a sudden. It's like
Yeah.
Miracle Rogue just spent almost all of its hand to go all in on his Van Cleef, and RDU can just Shadow Flame and Soulfire.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the turn feels kind of weak. So, I don't know, are you really that sad though?
No, not that sad. I mean, you have Belcher. You even have Leroy sitting in your hand too, just to build up again. You got an Earthen Ring too, so you've got ways to develop even after this Shadow Flame turn here.
Maybe you
Kungen
don't
does
have
have
to
it.
Shadow Flame. You can Hellfire. I don't know.
Hellfire's a little. Well, Hellfire's a little scary because then he can just have like Leroy and Shadow Step, and you're really close to dying.
What makes it a little sad is that Kungen did this with no respect for the Ironbeak Owl. Like, if the Ironbeak Owl came out, then this Van Cleef got all in when he had double Gadgetzan in hand, so it ended up being okay, but it could have been much worse.
Well, I mean, let's think of the alternatives for him. Like, what else could he have done? Like, just continue, just throw the gadgets down and just have it die and hope to get some kind of, I guess, hope to get at least a few, or just the Leroy combo in consecutive turns, that kind of thing.
Well, I suppose.
Yeah, he was in pretty bad shape with just the board there, so
All right.
it was a risk, but I think it worked out, and I think it was a risk he probably had to take. Okay, so he's concealing the Auctioneer here. This is his last one. So he's got to make sure he gets all the value he can get from this.
I think you're okay with just leaving the Gadgetzan here and not trying to make it 8-4. Now Leroy, Shadow Step, and Cold Blood is 16 damage, and if you draw Sap, assuming this Gadgetzan even dies, you win the game. Now, this is where Lothep timing is really critical, because then you deny the spells. And now RDU has an opportunity to potentially strike back here.
Okay, so he's down to 23. Let's say he gets another 8 next turn, 15. Doesn't quite have it, even if he draws like Faceless. He'd have to draw 2 cards. Okay, but RDU's got a nice taunt wall here. He's essentially got 3 taunts there. And he's Lothep'd him, right? So it's going to be a pretty tough turn for Auctioneer to even draw many cards.
Yeah, but it's okay. Kungen can still draw at least 1 card without this Azure Drake. Maybe the Farseer.
Poison? Okay. You can't play it, though. It's kind of a bummer.
Here we go.
Alright, he can Farseer the Auctioneer, but for sure the Auctioneer is going to be gone next turn.
If he Farseers the Auctioneer, he's open up to a Leroy Faceless moment.
Oh yeah,
So like he actually has to heal himself. Oh man, and if RDU draws a Faceless Manipulator, that's actually 20 damage exactly.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, gets a Watcher. Watcher doesn't do too much, except for it does clear the board with Shadow Flame, actually. That's really good.
Yes. So
Good.
I guess it does do a pretty good job in that department. I think RDU is now able to put on a lot of pressure, and shutting down this Gadgetzan was really big. And now his opponent needs to have Sap, or else it's most likely going to be game. Unless he can deal with this Lothep without having to take damage.
Oh man, yeah, he definitely needs Sap here. He does got 2 Fan of Knives. He can draw into some things. thankfully for him, because otherwise, no auctioneer right now. He's not able to do that.
Huh.
He can
Alright,
remove
well,
the low
Kungen...
Okay. Oh.
Okay. Sequencing is a little weird, just because he like weaponed up and then Phantom Knives,
Yeah.
and so now he has less mana to play with. He can't like Phantom Knives again and SI7 agent if he wanted to do that. So this is a little tricky now.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to
He
use
wanted-
SI Edge now.
Yeah, he wanted maximum value on his Deadly Poison.
This guy's
That-
toast.
I think you Phantom Knives again here and try to draw.
Choose soon.
I mean,
This guy's toast.
you're leaving the threats on the board here. I mean, the Lothab is still going to put you into.
Well, he actually dies if he just lets this pass, because
Yeah,
Leroy
that's
is
what I
just
mean.
6 extra damage. So Kungen's gonna pass it back over to RDU, and RDU is just gonna Leroy and win. Even has power overwhelming, so this game was a little unusual
Yeah, he
with
could've-
how it actually went down, and it all was because Kungen, instead of going for a catch stand plays, relied on a Van Cleef, which was convenient that RDU didn't have an Iron Beak Owl, and it led to a very weird sequence of events. I'm actually a little confused by that game.
Yeah, that game, the end of there were some. I don't know. There are definitely some other go into game number 2 now. See if Kungen's handlock can answer RDU's handlock. But I agree with you. Yeah, I think Sylvanas is pretty good again, or it makes sense of it. I don't know if it's good. Just haven't really seen it a lot.
All right, well,
lately,
Kungen off
but-
to a great start. He gets 2 of the big creatures, and RDU gets nothing, so RDU needs something, whether it's Twilight Drake or Mountain Giant.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, definitely.
problem is that RDU can't like aggressively tap either and play something to get board control. He's pretty dependent on playing his threat first.
Well, I think we're gonna see a bunch of life taps till turn 3 at least for Kungen. We'll see if he even uses the coin there or not.
Probably no need.
Yeah,
You
I
have
don't think
the things you need. The coin life tap is one if you really need to dig deeper because
Oh,
you don't have
wow.
anything to play. Wow, goodness.
Look at that hand. That hand's so. I mean, Kungen's hand has so much power right now. RDU drawing the wrong giants at this time. Not going to be able to use them. Might end up having to use them pretty quickly here if Kungen gets off to too fast of a start. He does decide to actually get the Twilight Drake a turn earlier by using the coin. The only issue with doing that is he doesn't have a play next turn actually. Okay, gets the Twilight Drake there. Neither has silence right now, so both Twilight Drakes will definitely get some work done. Yeah, and that's the issue with using the coin too. Is like turn 4 doesn't really line up for you.
Yeah, precisely, and you kind of mess it up for the following, but you get board control at the sacrifice of 1 health on your Drake. Can't really complain.
No, not too bad. Not bad. 2 Watchers hanging out.
Yeah, just
Statues.
kind of witnessing the action. RDU now plays a Drake that's a lot stronger, 410, so it can kind of take a double beating from Defender of Argus players.
Yeah. Okay, so here comes the first Belcher. And I feel like Belcher's going to start dictating some things here, just being the impediment it is, or just how annoying it can be. And RDU still lacking some of his cheap power, just the really huge Mountain Giants, given that he's got so many cards right now. He'd really love to see the Mountain Giants and the Twilight Drakes right now. But at least the Mullen Giants are starting to become in range. Well, they were in range until I did that.
Yeah, you have to be really careful not to overextend in this matchup because The way Shadow Flame and Giants interact, everything is just so swingy. It's the same concept as Lightning Storm and Shaman vs. Shaman, where if you just overextend too much and bite off more than you can chew, you might lose the board for something really cheap and then have no answer backwards, and you're going to be in trouble. Oh my goodness. Does RDU have a board clear here? Yes, he does.
Oh man, he does. Speaking of which, 3 mana Mountain Giant. Gotta love it.
There you go.
And
He
that
does
was,
this to protect the health on his trip.
yeah. And Kungen just put that Mountain Giant out too, so getting full value while Kungen didn't get any value for that Giant. Right, and this is the last of the threats. Like Kungen started really quickly. Oh, actually, draws a Ragnaros, so that'll be nice for him. But if RDU can answer this with, minimal effects or minimal damage here, then we could see the game start to swing.
You're afraid of overextending yourself now into Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
Based off of your opponent's Giants, but
Shields up.
RDU's just gonna go for it.
Well, when you're down to 16, you kind of have to. You're kind of getting into that range. You're getting closer to 10 mana where that 20 combo, at least 20 combo, right? If you have Soulfire and stuff, it could be ridiculous, 24, 28. But got to be worried that I got to make stuff happen. All right, Kanga's he's got 2 Siphons here, so he can really alleviate some of these big threats easily. He could faceless himself, but I don't think you can do much after that.
Well, you could... I don't know, you can Soulfire and Power Overwhelming after that. Oh man, Kungen really gonna tap. Because he's gonna Siphon Soul then and just kill.
Yeah, I think he's going to Siphon Soul that. Siphon Soul at 8/8. Hopefully you get... Maybe he'll trade both those minions, or at least trade the Drake into it eventually.
Do you Soulfire the 2/3 at all?
What could do to... I mean, I guess Hellfire could do damage to it. I don't think I would have there. Because you're holding Hellfire, right? So it does do an extra 2 damage to you, but you can actually remove it fairly easily and not waste your Soulfire for... your Soulfire could actually piggyback on the Hellfire and remove something, maybe bigger like that Molten if you can get 1 extra damage. I don't know, would you have Soulfire there?
I think there's a case to make for it. Considering that you're not... you're starting to get to the point where your opponent might have the burst combo. So you have to just be mindful of it.
Yeah, true. Both of them are in that range right now, so it could be just a matter of who
needs to Soulfire or else he's going to discard a card. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, no choice
He's
now.
realizing. I thought he was going to Soulfire, but he's now at 10 cards. What? Oh, don't don't end the turn.
Yeah,
Don't end the turn. You're gonna burn
turn.
Leroy, and you're at the combo. You have faceless and power overwhelming. Oh no!
Oh, Kungen.
Oh no! If he draws Leroy, if he burns Leroy, that's potentially the difference between winning and losing next turn.
Yeah. Oh man, he's gonna lose 2 cards now with Soulfire. That Soulfire is gonna cost him 2 turns, man. Or 2 cards. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, okay. So he's gonna heal there, and
yeah, I think that's smart.
he can clear this board now with Soulfire and Hellfire. That's the one benefit, I guess, of keeping Soulfire.
Yeah, that's true. RDU is playing very intelligently, making sure to stay out of Molten range. Don't give your opponent the ability to play 1 Molten Giant and Shadow Flame, so 7 is okay. And his opponent burns a Twilight Drake, so not the worst case scenario, but Kungen definitely didn't want to do that. He's also at 22 health, RDU is, that is, and so he's outside of the Leroy Faceless with Power Overwhelming. You need Soulfire in addition to that.
Which he actually does have. So, your point about the whole Leroy, that would have been just devastating if he would have burned Leroy. Unfortunately for him, he did not. So he still has the chance for the big combo, and he should absolutely remove this.
You should soul fire this for sure.
Absolutely remove this. Yeah.
This is the farce here, but there's worse things in life.
Pretty scary. What?
All
No,
right.
he should not have tapped there. Well, I guess he's looking. Well, he's got. Well, I don't know. Maybe he should have tapped there. I mean, because he puts him now. He puts some into. There's a winning condition now that's just faces in Leroy. Just faces in Leroy, right? Not
It
even.
needs to hit the giant. And it does. So it's a good sign for RDU as Ragnaros was able to get a snipe. But now
Yeah, but
Kungen
he's got a
can-
Black Knight value though.
Can you get away with doing something else? I don't think so. I think Black Knight's the best shot you got. Oh my goodness, YOLO plays.
What? No. I mean, he could Black Knight into Molten into Taunt. Wow.
Do you Defender of Argus so it's like more resilient to
Yeah, I guess you could do
Ragnaros
this
shot?
too, but
Man,
wow.
Kungen going for
This
YOLO
is-
plays.
He's going
And
for
it doesn't
the
hit
show.
with the
He's going for
2-3.
the show. Oh my
And
goodness.
You can Shadow Flame and clear this board.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh, and he
wait,
just draws
Leroy.
Leroy. Oh wow.
Damage. How do you do this?
God, Power of One would be amazing here. He could just clear board with the Ancient Watcher. I think you have to clear the board. Yeah, you have to clear the board with the Rag. And then you can put down the Ancient Watcher, silence it, and then taunt it. Oh no, you can only silence it. Okay, yeah, it's not enough mana, right?
Yeah, you want to silence it as a surprise, not as a way to give your opponent an opportunity to respond. Now Kungen has another Ragnaros, and he ragged once. You're gonna rag twice. The saying "Yoro" is not an actual thing, contrary to popular belief.
You rag once, you're gonna rag twice, man. Heard it from Frodan. Boom! Oh.
Okay, so this is starting to shape up. RDU needs to draw game-ending damage. Oh, he has Sylvanas!
I have no
Oh my goodness.
No, okay. Yeah, you just taunt it.
My seal.
Now his opponent needs to draw Ironbeak Owl.
Oh, he still has. Yeah, he still got Black Knight. He wants to use it in some way.
But that could be disastrous. I mean, you've been playing this game off of a series of coin flips, so maybe you could go for it. But if you do that, then you should most likely Farseer before then, because if you Farseer, you give a chance for him to steal the 3/3. Is he going for this play? Is he gonna try and Black Knight the Sylvanas when there's a Ragnaros on the board? What is this game?
I don't even know, man. I really don't even know at this point. I don't even know what plays are going to be played here.
My seal.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it hits the face. Now, RDU does have Iron Beak
if
out.
he... Okay, so if you crash your Sylvanas into the load
Soulfire. You Soulfire this.
oh, you're
and
so
then
far
you,
this 3. There we go. There we go.
And then you steal the rag.
Yeah,
this has
yeah.
to start Leroy. You steal the rag,
he can-
and then you Leroy for the win.
Yeah, he can do it.
Oh, yeah, of course you play Leroy first. Why even leave up the chance, derp? Of course, this is why RDU is much better than me.
Yep.
Oh
Wait,
wait.
wait. Oh, okay.
Oh no,
What-
RDU
what
forgot
did
about the
you do?
whelps. I forgot about the
Why did
whelps.
you do that? I was like,
Oh
why
my
did
God.
he do that?
Oh
No,
God, you
that
should've
was a
stopped
total
Gen, man.
mistake. Oh my
Oh my God, this is a disaster. What is going on with this game?
What-
Oh no!
Come on. I don't even know what to say.
Oh my God, this is a bit. Oh wow,
This
this
is gonna,
has gone so disastrous. Kungen can now Mortal Coil.
is he gonna just go to the face and just YOLO rag this too? I mean,
Okay,
it just
well first
throw
you
Belgium.
Mortal Coil.
Mortal Coil.
I say you actually Mortal Coil and see if you draw on the Leroy. If you draw on the Leroy, you can power overwhelming and end the game.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
silence your rag! Silence your rag!
No, silence! Silence!
Silence
Oh.
your rag! No! What's going on? It still hit the face! I don't understand! He can't use
No.
Hellfire!
No, you could have silenced the rag and power
Oh my
overwhelming.
goodness.
Oh,
Oh, he draws a rag. Rag needs to hit this. Oh, I don't know
Wait.
anymore. It's a 3-3. He has soul fire. This game's finally over. But this is what you do. You
Oh
silence your rag and
Oh,
finish it.
we're
This is the only appropriate way to do it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man. I need to recover from that game.
I don't know how, but some way, Kungen dragged RDU down to his level.
Somehow, Kungen.
Because what happened here was
say.
Kungen went for a series of plays to confuse RDU, and it
Are ready. So let's get started here. Game number 3. Last game was pretty crazy. Let's see if this one kind of continues that trend here. And RDU definitely not happy. You can tell just after that one play, he was just really upset. Knew he made a mistake. And let's see if he can recover. Kungen gonna rely. Let's see if he relies more on the Ragnaros.
I don't know. I think there's a very real chance that at one point there was just like you can tell that RDU was just embarrassed about what happened. So it just felt like one misplay led to another, led to another, led to another. And then meanwhile, Kungen, oh, I couldn't read him whatsoever because he had sunglasses. I guess that could be also the point. And it seems like Kungen's gonna go for an immediate tap because he's not happy with his hand, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like he's going to tap here too, and it's good. I mean, there's not much he can. Well, he could play like something on the board just to kind of fight off these dudes, but definitely opting for just the big mountain giant turn here. And what's bad about, I mean, what the paladin can do against the giants, preferably they usually like to use Aldor. They can use Aldor on the giants, right? But they usually want to use Aldor on the drakes so that it can't be silenced and just reversed. Lots of times the giants just, kind of negate that, or the owl and the giant negate that, and they just start pounding you with the giants can basically be a lead against paladins that they can't recover from if you let it kind of get out of hand early on there. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna see the mountain giant.
This is gonna allow RDU to really climb far ahead. Because he's gonna use Aldor Peacekeeper and then start drawing cards.
Actually, he could use a Humility and then play the Sinjin.
Or True Silver allows him to kill it.
Yeah, True Silver too. Either one. Both are good. Actually,
well, you don't want to overextend into
less,
Shadow Flame again.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say too. Good point. God, those Watchers. Do you just remove that Watcher just because you know it's an impending Shadow Flame?
I don't think so. I don't think you're afraid. Like, your board right now is not that big of a Shadow Flame target. Maybe when you have, like, your Peacekeeper up, and then all of a sudden you have, like, a lot of small targets, but...
Oh, wow. Okay, that's gonna be... Then that's exactly what you want there. You want to Peacekeeper that Twilight Drake, so he can't silence it, or else he'll take some negative effects to that.
And this Acolyte's done work already. The most important thing is winning out this early game so that there's no control, and you're able to even exercise your hero power. Now, the one thing you're afraid of is Hellfire, but even then, you've already kind of gotten a lot of mileage from this one Acolyte. Wow, look at that. Hellfire.
There's Hellfire. Oh, whoa. Wait.
Oh,
why are you doing that?
I think Hellfire's so much better.
No, Hellfire's much better. But, okay, well, regardless, he clears the board. Hellfire would have been nicer just because, A, it puts you closer to Molten Giant play, and B, there's not very many instances that you'll, like, ideal instances where you'll want to use Hellfire. So that was as close as you get for an ideal situation there. Okay, so RDU establishing the board again. And Kungen, doesn't really have much.
Oh no! A bad habit of just tapping first. Oh man. This has gotten a little bit out of hand here.
Yeah, I think so.
Not Kungen's best showing as he's tapping a little over. And losing that Ironbeak Owl is critical because there's going to be a Tyrion out. There's going to be Sylvanas coming out. And now you just lost one of your best anti-death rattle. So,
Yeah, speaking of
yeah.
which, I think RDU's feeling like he's pretty good. Well, now that the owl's been burned there. Take a chance that he doesn't have the second one.
Well, it happens to the best of us. Actually, in fact, RDU accidentally did this once at IEM Shenzhen, where you kind of just like look at your hand, you're like, well, I'm gonna be playing this card, so I should tap first, out of good habit. But now
Yeah.
he really wishes he had an Iron Beak Owl.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get down the line of like one line of thinking, and then you actually make a move, or do something that's along that single line of thinking, and then you change your mind. And unfortunately, sometimes that happens, and you end up making a move that you can't really fix or you can't reverse, which can lead to you possibly over tapping or something like that.
So many
That's why it's good to just figure out the move before you actually even touch the cards. I do it all the time, man. I do it all the time on stream, especially on stream. There's something very nerve-wracking about being on stream.
Well, it could be nerves too. You bring up an excellent point. But I would have to say that for a player like RDU, nerves shouldn't really be an issue.
Yeah.
Because he's already played on so many high-level profile tournaments. But maybe it's not even nerves. It's more like one mistake led to like a likelihood to make more mistakes because you're kind of embarrassed. But I think for the most part, he's kind of settled in. I think Kungen right now is the one kind of off his game at the moment. Because healing this 3-5 actually didn't really accomplish much unless he wants to just Hellfire clear the board.
Yeah.
And then, even so, you're within like a range where, like, you can put Molten Giants, but your opponent's drawn so many cards, and then you might be overextending into Equality and Consecration. I don't know. I guess either way, this matchup's pretty bad for Panlock, so you're not really caring much.
Yeah, especially at this point when you're entering like the late stages. Paladin's drawn through a lot of their deck. They're going to have a lot of their heals, so the the combo's not as much of a it's just not of an opposing threat as it could be just early on. Just right when you hit like turn 10, and Paladin might have drawn badly. Now Paladin's sitting on most of its removal. It's got both equalities. It's got 2 heals, Delay of Hands, and the Holy Light. And Aldor too on top of that, so it's just like whatever you want to throw at him right now, he can answer.
Oh, Lotheb. Okay, this is starting to change up a little bit. Lotheb can allow you to force your opponent to have Equality Pyromancer and then kill off their board. So, with this in mind, Champ-Man, do you throw out 1 Molten Giant in Lotheb?
I wonder.
Man, he can actually Lotheb and Arius if he wants. And Molten Giant, so
Right.
man.
So I think you throw out
I think
1
you just
Molten
throw down-
Giant.
Yeah, I think you just throw down 1 because you have another taunt too. So and you just drew Faceless, so yeah, one is a good, just I guess a good test. Trying to test the waters here, see what he's got. But Lotheb is so great here. I mean, it's
Oh my.
if he doesn't have Pyromancer, he actually can't play Equality with anything else, right? They're removed.
All in, baby.
Yeah, he's going all in. Doesn't surprise me, actually, but it could just end up working out for him here.
Yeah, and RDU doesn't have Pyromancer, but he's got ways to deal with stuff. Let's see, there's 8,
Oh my God,
9,
so much damage,
10,
though.
16, 21 damage.
If he draws a Leroy,
Reporting for duty.
can you
You're right.
remove this? He can't remove anything, right? If he draws a Leroy, it's over. What do you get?
No, it's going to be
it's-
Siphon Soul.
Okay, so Siphon definitely not a good draw for Kungen here. He does. Wait,
21.
does Rag do it? Rag doesn't do it, right?
No, Rag, if it hits the feet, is 29 damage.
Rag did
But
it.
what he can do is
Oh.
Rag and then taunt everything else up and let Rag do some sniper shots from behind. Everyone else has assault rifles. And he'll be the one sniping.
Then he can
through that.
Faithless Rag like the next turn, too.
Rag is
Oh,
the kill
man.
stealer, man. He's the guy who just sits in the back of the ranks and then pads his stats and has no deaths. He has like 5
He's the guy throwing
kills.
the grenades, just launching the random grenades, hoping to
Yeah.
get frags from it. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, it is. Oh, it's
what is it,
22 on board.
Did I miscount?
Oh, it's
I
22
miscounted.
on
It's
board,
22.
so he could actually have a YOLO rag for the win.
I'm tired, Chan, man. It's really late.
I'm
I can't even.
tired.
I don't even know
I'm
what's
right
going
there
on
with
with this game anymore.
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, I'm feeling like he's going to throw down rag, but he might not go for. I mean, he obviously is not going for space. Move this board though. Wow. Okay. Is he going to commit to it? He's already committed 2 Mullins. You might as well throw the rag down too, man.
That's
Uh,
just
he did-
like, your opponent just showed like maybe a way he can't deal with it, and you still
I know.
represent lethal on board. But now equality, consecration.
Oh man, he threw the pyro too. And you know,
Right,
he
and then,
removed his board, but Kungen removed his board, but he gave up a lot to do that.
Yeah. And now he's out of burst range. There's no 4-card combo that can kill him. He needs double Soulfire, and I don't think Kungen has that. So he's at 3 health.
Yeah, 3 health's pretty brutal. I don't know if he's gonna be able. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be able to do this without tapping, or be able to draw into something good without actually tapping.
Well, the quality of cards in his hand is not really good for Soulfire right now. Ugh, losing Siphon Soul actually really stings, considering the quality of minions that come out this late in the game. Plus, you need to heal.
Yeah, he didn't really need to do that either. That 3 damage, sure, he could have damaged one of the Belchers, but worst case with quality there, and he removes 2 of them. I mean, it's not that bad. But saving Soulfire too, it's like, what's he gonna use it on right now? All right, so Kel'Thuzad, so we're seeing some, that lay hands basically drew into his late game minions there. Uh-oh.
Leroy is finally here. All right,
Late.
now I think you got Ragnaros.
Yeah, it's time. It's time, boys. It's time, Rag.
So
What else are you gonna do?
It's
Are you
go
gonna
time.
Black Knight an empty board? Are you gonna tap when you're at 3 health? No, you Ragnaros.
Yeah. But RDU's got an answer here, and okay, let's see. Okay, so he hits him for 22. RDU will answer, but he can't remove the board completely because of the Belchers. The Belchers are still a threat. Oh, actually, he's got the BGH too. Oh, okay. So the Belchers representing too much damage there, 6 damage there. Might as well remove both of them. Throws up, okay, the Belcher.
Black Knight gets value all of a sudden. Kungen's staying in this, but keep in mind that he's also running out of damage and threats.
Overwhelming, but he's already used his Faceless. I don't think he has 2 Faceless. So he can only do 10 with that.
Is there really a chance for RDU to win? I don't think so. I think Tyrion comes down, right? And then RDU still has another consecration, so he just has to draw his other consecration, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs is just anything. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
Tyrion comes down, and then consecration allows you to push through. But then he has Siphon Soul.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is surprisingly difficult to get to that 3. That's the thing about that Paladin. They just can't. Except for the weapon, there's nothing really that pushes on the turn that you play it, right? So.
Kungen doesn't
making
play
it
around the
closer.
second consecration, by the way. Like, he loses his extra damage from the Sun Fury Protector.
yeah.
You need to trade one of
Yeah,
his 1/1s.
That's right. Would have been the same. Or it would have been 1 less. Yeah, he should have played around it. So we could have 2 minutes.
No, that's the difference between winning and losing. Look, because he lost the. Oh, never mind. The Farseer. Just kidding. But if we didn't have the Farseer, but if you calculate this, because you know he's gonna attack into
Yeah.
you're gonna attack into the Black Knight. So he was gonna be at 12 health, and then it would have attacked, and he had Leroy Power Overwhelming. So you have to make these calculations, so that way you have the highest chance to win.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Kungen has to tap because he's dead right now on board.
I don't even know what he can draw though. Does he have another Soulfire? It doesn't matter. I mean, he's oh, that's not a good draw. Yeah, and I think that's going to be it. RDU is going to take this game. It's going to go up 2-1 here. Kungen making it close though. Wow, it was. Yeah, there was a chance, like you said. I mean, he could have saved that 2 damage on the board, right? And
I can't believe this game was still potentially won. There was like a few ways for Kungen still to win, despite the fact that RDU had like the double qualities and was able to like really put a lot of pressure. And this series has been quite the roller coaster ride.
Man, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna play both the
people.
if you're gonna play both the Moltons on that one turn Kungen did, you might as well just go for the win.
All right, so let's see if this Paladin can continue to completely surprise the entire tournament circuit of being like the deck that's so strong, considering how Naxxramas has been able to boost it. This game has been, or the series has been quite up and down, Chamman, but I think RDU is happy to generally just have the lead. As much as it wasn't pretty, he just wants to get past this. And I think the Paladin deck is favored against Druid in the late game because of, again, like you can build the board as much as you want as Druid, but you're going to have a lot of easy ways for Paladin to clear you. And not to mention that cards like Spectrum Knight, Paladin is actually one of the best classes to deal with it. You can innervate it out and do all kinds of cool stuff. But you have the ability to use Aldor Peacekeeper as a battle cry and lower it down to 1 attack.
Yeah, and even just like things like Humility and like you said, Aldor, they're just perfect. You don't even have to Kodo it. You just nullify it, and you can even leave it, and it's just fine, right? And it accomplishes a lot of just defanging it. Let's see what RDU. And the thing about the Paladin or the Druid too is that it doesn't have a lot of removing capabilities outside of the combo. I mean, Swipe is obviously what everybody thinks of, but Swipe's not that great, you know, removing multiple minions that have more than 1 health, right? So a lot of times, especially this type of deck, this ramp Druid deck, the combo is used to remove everything on the board. Ooh, that Spectral Knight, man, being innervated out is going to be really nice for him.
Yeah, this could have backfired pretty severely if RDU had Peacekeeper, but he doesn't, so works out okay for Kungen. And now he can start using the Spectral Knight to bully, but Alright, he's going to play the removal, and this could also backfire if RDU had True Silver Champion, and then you effectively innervate a Spectral Knight, so that way you can kill a Farseer. So it doesn't, it's like, this is why sometimes innervate needs to really be planned out to make sure your curve is good, because Kungen effectively lost 2 mana last turn anyways, and then the innervate gained him nothing.
Yeah, the innervate would have been better played for the Sunwalker and then curved into the Spectral Knight. That probably would have worked a tiny, you know, a little bit better, but it's working out for him right now, and gonna be able to draw another card off of this. It's 1 short of being able to use that other Wrath too to get rid of Belcher.
Well, as a result, Kungen's play has left him with no board, and now RDU can take initiative. Now, he doesn't have exactly an easy card to just drop, but I guess Kodo can come out if you don't feel like there's a lot of worthy minions. Saving it is so much better, though, that you have humility, because the combo is really powerful.
Yeah, Druids, especially this type of Druid, plays 1 huge minion at a time, and that's just perfect. Perfect for the Humility Kodo combo. Kodor combo. Okay, another draw. So he's been able to use a Wrath for the draw, which is really, it can be really key in this matchup too. You gotta get as much of the card draw as possible.
Yeah, Kungen's refusing to hit his drops, which is a little interesting considering that he feels threatened by a 1/1, by 2 1/1 tokens. That's that Sunwalker is a big coward in my opinion. Doesn't want to fight a couple of 1/1s.
I think he's trying to set up that turn 7 Ancient Allure, and then you can play Hero Power behind the Sunwalker. I don't know. right, he's gonna draw even more cards here. All right, he's got both Ancient Allures. I mean, he's got all the arsenal that he really needs. You know, these are all the cards you want in this deck. So it's just a matter of just starting to play them now.
All right, and RDU is just taking his time. I don't think he cares too much that the Senjin ends up dying out here. Senjin's not very good in these big minions versus minions creatures battles because it's just like a way to stall aggro. Wow. All right, so now you can start playing the onslaught of big minion after big minion. Kungen is set for the next 5 turns or so. And even then, he's got Ancient of Lore to keep drawing. So RDU is eventually going to be forced to use something like a Quality Consecration if he has it.
All right, so there's the Aldor play. He's going to be able to Kodo the Sunwalker. It's really good value, and actually remove the Ancient Lore too in this play.
Okay. All right, I guess
Still doesn't have the
that's fair.
quality. Yeah.
I thought RDU would go for like more draws, but I guess if you want to, yeah, you wanted to remove the Ancient of Lore, so it makes most sense.
He's still missing the quality. It's still a little scary. He's still down to 1 humility, really, to you know, to deal with these big ones without just crashing all your minions into it. You know, that's the thing that you don't want to do, or just losing them when you crash into them. Harrison, only good if he steals that, and he's gonna, you know, he's gonna give him the opportunity to do it because he knows he can draw some more cards here.
Yeah, but his opponent can just silence it, and that's what you want to do against Tyrion. It's kind of like the Ragnaros effect, where if you silence it, it's still a 6/6 body, which is the strongest minion on the board. So you still have to do a little bit more, but at least you're happy to basically take away that weapon.
Yeah, 15 damage, man. It's pretty brutal. It's worse than the body, man.
What to do?
I think the either is okay. Sludge Belcher versus Druid the Claw. I don't really see. I think the Sludge Belcher is just slightly more sticky, and then Druid the Claw is more flexible because you can use it in charge versus taunt. And I don't think the 4 attack, 6 health means that much of a difference, honestly. So this seems to be like a good compromise.
All right, removing. Doesn't he have Kel'Thuzad in his hand? RDU?
No, I don't believe so. But if he did, that would be pretty great.
Let me look, actually. I thought I saw it. That would be crazy good. Ridiculous. Imagine getting that Tyrion back.
Last warning.
RDU Paladin, right? Yeah, he does. He does have KT.
Oh, you mean in his deck? I thought you mean in his hand. Yeah, we've seen it.
Oh, no,
before
in his
hand,
deck.
But
Yeah.
he didn't have it
In his deck.
on him at the moment.
All right, well, Kungen's got, again, great cards. It's just he can't get him on the board, and the Druid. This is like the weakness of Druid is dealing with your opponent having multiple minions on the board or flooding the board. All right, gonna rely on good old Rag here, maybe.
I think it's a 12 mana turn with Innervate. You can
Yeah,
put
I
out
think so too.
2 huge taunters. The problem is if your opponent equality consecrates you and pushes for what looks to be 13 damage at least.
Shall I strike?
Charge. Okay.
Oh, I would have hero powered there.
Where shall I strike?
I think hero. Okay, what's the taunt in charge? Okay.
No. This is really curious line of play. Like
Yeah.
I guess he just like doesn't care that it can get completely destroyed by what's on board. Like the Tyrion just kills off the 4/6. Yeah. And he went for the trade. It's like nothing really actually happened other than just losing your 2 druids with the claw.
Yeah, he could have innervated and hero powered there and just removed that instead of crashing his minion into the 3/1 or that, you know, the taunt or whatever.
Okay. Well, either way, now Kungen still
Yeah.
has the opportunity to utilize this innervate somehow. Like the longer it sits in your hand, the less you're able to get impacted on the board. Now, especially now that Sylvanas is out here.
Yeah, the wild growth too is kind of unfortunately just going to be card draw at this point for 2 mana. But he needs. He can silence the Sylvanas. He hasn't
that's a
used.
high
Has he
price.
used either a swipe? I don't think he's drawn swipe yet, right?
No, it seemed like he played as if he was going to draw into swipe 2 because he attacked one creature into a 3/2 instead of a 3/4 to make it even for Sludge Belcher. So it seemed like he
Yeah.
was setting up for swipe, but he doesn't have it in his hand yet.
So he's representing 15 damage here on the board. Gotta throw up some kind of big taunts here. I don't even know.
He is. I think he's really tempted to kill off Tyrion with Keeper, but you have to silence Sylvanas.
Well, if you
'Cause if
do
you-
that, then Sylvanas just takes whatever you throw down. I mean, like if you throw down Ancient of War, he's just gonna take it.
But Tyrion represents damage. You're at 17 health. I mean, I'm not saying you should. I'm saying you should still
Yeah.
silence Sylvanas. I think you should.
Yeah,
But
I think you should.
I think he's tempted to kill off Tyrion. Yeah, and he is going to kill off Tyrion
Yeah,
here
he's gonna
because
kill off Tyrion, and he's
it's 6 damage. That's really scary. All right, well, just
okay.
continue to systematically take your opponent apart. Use True Silver Champion.
For justice. The battle.
Still hasn't drawn
Let none survive.
equality, but doesn't really need it at this point. He really just wants the minions at this point. Just continue
Don't
to
need
push
equality
pressure.
whatsoever.
Exactly.
Got so much damage. The only thing that would
Could be.
make you want equality right now is a mark of not a mark of the wild, a faceless on an Ancient of War, so that there's 2 5/10s. And you can do that with Innervate.
Yeah, it's always just nice to have in your pocket. Just if anything, yeah, he silences that Sylvanas and still can't put lethal on his opponent. Okay, so he finally draws a swipe. Let's see what he's going to do with it here. The Karen's definitely a big problem for him now because no silence. It's virtually impossible for him to remove it right now, and completely Bane and Karen.
Now that
That
you didn't
5
silence Sylvanas, she's gonna take whatever creature, but you have to put up a taunt because you're at 9 health. So it's like Ancient of War, and then Harvest Golem.
And just hope he steals the keeper or the harvest golem here.
If he goes for an Ancient of Lore because he hovered over it, his opponent has 16 damage. There's no way for you to actually heal out of it.
Okay, so just gonna remove those 2,
Right.
and doesn't have.
This should be game, because then
This is
Consecration
game.
actually just kills you.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oh, he
you
coulda-
know what, gentlemen? The series is over.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless RDU doesn't see this, but he should.
No.
Wait. RDU, he sees this. Okay.
Just yeah.
Just going for a little
Little bit
BM
of BM
at
here.
the end. I was like, oh gosh, he scared me for a second.
I
And
know, that's
Kungen
the
is
thing.
going to drop here, but overall, as much as the series had its high moments and maybe it's not so hot moments, I think it's a really important lesson that like, as much as RDU is like a tournament winner or a champion, sometimes he can make mistakes too, and I feel like